This is Meghan Markle's sickest stunt yet. This weekend, she decided to invoke the memory of dead Princess Diana in a deliberate attempt to terrorize her long-suffering husband, Prince Harry.
Again, I have to be careful what I say, but
Prince Harry reportedly exploded this time, and insiders say no palace protocol could cool it down fast enough.
This is gross and grim and deranged on every level.
This wasn't a polished reaction or some carefully managed response. Sources say it was raw, emotional, and impossible to ignore.
She thinks that's a win, Brittany? No, we see you, Meghan. We see you, and now the world sees you.
Witnesses claim the breaking point came when Harry saw Meghan's video filmed just steps away from the Paris tunnel where his mother died.
It was just a terrible look. She does not look good. It looks like something you would see at a grandma's, if she's celebrating her, let's say, 60th wedding anniversary, that's what a grandma would wear.
For him, that location isn't symbolic or abstract. It's personal, painful, and sacred. Insiders say something inside him snapped. There was no calm statement, no strategic silence, just anger.
it's really quite sad.
Who does this? Who behaves like this?
The kind that comes from years of bottled up emotion finally boiling over. That tunnel marks the worst night of his life, and those close to him say the moment hit harder than anyone expected. So people are asking the same question over and over. Who does this? Who treats a place tied to such tragedy like a backdrop?
She was the villain
How was she dangerous?
because of the need for her to rehabilitate her image.
Sources say Meghan appeared relaxed in the back of a luxury car, feet up, smiling, filters on, as the vehicle passed the site where Diana lost her life.
Stephanie Sidley, if driving towards Princess Diana's death scene is a message to Prince William, then Meghan Markle is the devil.
Posted online like any other moment, the clip sparked backlash fast. Critics called it tone-deaf, badly timed, and impossible to defend. For Harry, insiders say it crossed into something unforgivable.
And she did this all after teaming up with the dodgy child scandal fashion brand Balenciaga during a bizarre trip to Paris.
He stayed silent through years of criticism, but this was different. A source close to the couple claims Harry confronted Meghan directly, calling the move cruel, attention-seeking, and a betrayal of everything Diana stood for.
Meghan is using everything for publicity.
Just another appallingly tone-deaf action.
That confrontation reportedly happened off camera, but the impact was loud. After the Balenciaga show and the surrounding media frenzy, Harry allegedly accused her of turning tragedy into a prop and using his mother's death to chase relevance.
This is her in the car videoing herself with her legs up as she went past the tunnel in which Diana Spencer was so tragically killed in Paris.
Those words, according to insiders, cut through the luxury air of Paris like a blade. And that wasn't the end.
If I know that this is a place that my husband hates because it's where he lost his mom, I'm not going to go there.
Behind closed doors of a five-star suite, what started as a tense exchange reportedly erupted into a full-blown confrontation, one even their inner circle couldn't contain.
How are you protecting children when you are promoting a brand that was accused of inappropriate behavior towards them?
Now insiders and onlookers are asking the same thing. Did Meghan cross the final line between ambition and disrespect? Was it deliberate or a terrible coincidence? Drop your thoughts below.
Well, how about having some thought towards your husband's feelings when you're in the same city his mom died in, running around, having a joyride in Paris near where she lost her life?
All of this unfolded under flashing cameras and Fashion Week applause. It was meant to be Meghan Markle's triumphant return. Front row, designer approved, cameras locked in, couture, celebrity, and control. At least that was the plan. For Harry, it was supposed to be harmless. Just another public appearance, another routine moment in front of flashing cameras.
Especially when he's on the BBC saying that it's not safe enough for my family in the UK, but it's safe enough for Meghan to be alone in Paris, literally engaging with the paparazzi you say killed your mother.
The world saw Meghan smiling, waving, perfectly lit by the Paris glow. Paparazzi framed her as radiant, refreshed, reborn. Every step looked intentional, every glance measured. It was the Meghan brand in full motion, relevance restored until the video. Just seconds of footage, a casual clip posted online like any influencer moment. Feed up, phone in hand, cruising through Paris.
Meghan is doing her own thing. Harry, go whatever with you. I'm doing what I want to do.
But as the car glided past the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, the site tied to Diana's final hours, the reaction detonated online. Comment sections turned into war zones. Disrespectful, staged, unforgivable.
Have you ever seen that video? No. Pull that video up.
For those who remember Diana's last night, it didn't feel careless. It felt wrong, like tragedy dressed up as content. And what made it worse wasn't just the clip, it was what came after. No apology, no clarification, not even a denial, just the same unbothered smile at the next fashion event. But insiders say that silence wasn't peace, it was strategy. Meghan wasn't retreating. She was moving forward on her own terms. Behind the designer shades and polished poses, she wasn't ignoring the backlash. She was absorbing it, because the louder the outrage grew, the more cameras turned her way. That's where the story cracks open. What first looked like a careless mistake didn't stay that way for long. Online investigators started breaking the footage down frame by frame. The route wasn't random. The car followed the same path Diana's did that night, turning toward the Pont de l'Alma underpass. That detail changed everything. This wasn't chance. It was choreography. Every stop, every angle, every second felt precise. A setup meant to spark conversation, and that conversation turned into outrage fast.
I was just checking Us Weekly, Harry and Meghan's personal press release service. I want to give you some of the headlines from Us Weekly in the last few hours.
Okay.
Meghan Markle quietly attends Balenciaga's Paris Fashion Week show. Quietly.
Commentators called it symbolic. Royal reporters called it disturbing. But what really shattered the illusion was Harry's reaction. For years, he defended Meghan through every scandal and every storm. This time, he didn't. Witnesses say he walked out of the event and refused to travel with her. According to insiders, the argument that followed wasn't just about the tunnel, it was about intent. Harry allegedly accused her of using his mother's death as currency. She reportedly fired back, saying, "It's just a location, not your property." That sentence changed everything.
She's walking around Paris like she's the She's got her arms flowing. She's really feeling her oats. Woman, please go back to California and be with your children and go and find a career other than just being desperate for attention every single day.
Hours later, she appeared front row at the Balenciaga show, a brand still under public scrutiny for past controversies involving children. For critics, the optics were brutal. A woman who built her image around protection and ethics, now standing firm in selective silence. Her defense was simple. She said she was showing support. But critics saw something else entirely, not loyalty, but selective morality. One insider summed it up cold. Every time her relevance fades, she reaches for something dark. And the public thought they'd seen attention-seeking before. What followed made every past controversy look like a warm-up, because this wasn't one misstep, it was a pattern, and the cracks were only beginning to show. If Harry really called her out behind the scenes, do you side with him for finally snapping, or do you think he overreacted?
Samantha Markle, Meghan's sister, posted, "Is it true that my sister was doing selfies in the tunnel where Diana died? That's what I'm hearing." Now that would be a really sick example of being a disaster too.
Drop your take in the comments. Because once the noise faded, something far more calculated started to surface. Every controversy, every headline, every public blow-up, none of it looked random anymore. Together, they formed a pattern. From Netflix deals to red carpet appearances. Outrage hit, silence followed, then came the spotlight. Insiders started calling it the cycle: shock, pause, attention. And right at the center of it all stood Meghan. People close to the Sussex circle say Harry has finally started seeing it too. He's realized every storm benefits one person more than the other. His trauma becomes her talking point. His mother's memory turns into her aesthetic.
Meghan entered this world like it was a Hollywood set, assuming she could rewrite the script, center herself in every scene, and edit out anything that didn't fit her narrative.
His silence becomes her leverage behind the polished image. The strategy is simple. Turn criticism into fuel. Turn backlash into buzz. Even her appearance at Balenciaga wasn't random. The brand still sparks outrage, and outrage means visibility. Visibility keeps her name circulating. For Meghan, the formula works. For Harry, it breaks him. Friends describe him now as trapped. Every time he defends her, he loses a piece of himself. Every time he speaks out, he feeds the narrative. She thrives on attention. He absorbs the fallout. This stopped being about a video or a fashion show a long time ago. It's about control, emotional, public, psychological. A strategy built on provocation, wrapped in compassion, and sold as empowerment. And maybe that's the cruelest part. What began as a love story between rebellion and royalty has hardened into something colder. A business built on controversy, fueled by pain, protected by cameras.
Finally, Meghan Markle turns up at Paris Fashion Week, fancying herself to be kind of budget Angelina Jolie, but without the talent or the tits or the teeth. I mean, I think she fancies herself to be a bit of a catwalk model, more like an aged pussy on the prowl, looking for its next.
So now the question echoes louder than ever. Coincidence or calculation? Is Meghan using controversy to stay relevant? Or is she just a victim of media exaggeration? What do you think? That night, Paris glowed gold under the lights, but the energy around them turned ice cold. Meghan wasn't being photographed as a star anymore. She was being studied like a case. Every blink, every step, every glance toward Harry mattered. Cameras caught everything, her smile fading for a split second as he passed without a word. His jaw tightening when her hand reached for his arm, and he didn't take it. No shouting, no drama on camera, just distance. And sometimes silence speaks louder than rage ever could. Online, the atmosphere mirrored the tension exactly. Clips were slowed down, dissected frame by frame. Commentators and so-called experts analyzed micro-expressions like a crime scene. A half smirk became evidence of arrogance. A blink turned into guilt. Every edit stripped away warmth, making her appear colder, smaller, further from the woman the public once believed in.
Harry and Meghan will likely have their titles stripped. I think they should have their titles stripped. What is she doing for the monarchy? She's going to fashion shows with this horrible outfit, which looks like a bed sheet. Looks like she's wrapped in toilet paper.
Then came the crowd footage. Harry stepping out alone, flashbulbs detonating around him like rapid fire. He didn't wait. He didn't smile. Just a man moving through noise, haunted and hollow. A figure the world refuses to let rest. Cut to Meghan days later at a gala dinner. Radiant, composed, acting like nothing cracked. But behind the polished smile, her eyes kept scanning the room. She wasn't searching for approval anymore. She was measuring control. That's the paradox of their story. The cleaner the image becomes, the more fractured the reality feels. Behind every camera flash lurks a shadow. And lately, that shadow has Harry's face written all over it. No warmth, no reunion. Just two people circling the same scandal, pretending it's still love. One insider whispered it bluntly. This isn't a marriage anymore, it's a performance. The clip stopped trending, but the damage didn't fade. Headlines cooled, but the fracture set in. Harry vanished from the spotlight, choosing quiet over confrontation. Meghan did the opposite. She doubled down. Instead of addressing backlash, she leaned into visibility. Charity luncheons, carefully staged appearances, stylists buzzing, interviews filtered through friendly outlets. The message was loud even without words. She wasn't retreating, she was rewriting. Control wasn't about truth anymore. It was about narrative. Behind palace walls and PR filters, advisors whispered about containment and restructuring optics. But this time, even loyal staff couldn't disguise the split. Harry stopped showing up in sync. No joint appearances, no shared smiles. Some said his silence was strategy. Others said it was survival. Meanwhile, Meghan's camp spun a different story. Anonymous leaks painted her as misunderstood, misquoted, misjudged. The oldest move in the celebrity handbook turned victimhood into visibility. For weeks, tabloids became her mirror, every reflection more curated than the last.
But I have to just say, anyone who has doubted me over the past decade about this evil woman now needs to eat some humble pie, because this video, designed to mentally torture her husband.
Meanwhile, Harry was spotted alone. Quiet dinners, unguarded moments, shoulders heavier than before. Not angry anymore, just exhausted. Insiders say he's realized a brutal truth. Every apology he offers becomes another headline she controls. Then came whispers of a new project. A rebranding pitch quietly floated to studios. Themes of resilience, motherhood, misunderstood women. And just like that, the cycle restarted. New sympathy, new spotlight, new silence from Harry. This wasn't recovery, it was repetition by design. The scandal didn't end. It evolved, because in their world, silence isn't surrender, it's staging. And sometimes the quiet after the storm isn't peace. It's the sound of someone planning the next move. Every royal story begins with legacy, but this one refuses to end there. For Harry, legacy was never about crowns or gold. It was about ghosts. His mother's face on every front page, her name whispered in interviews, her tragedy replayed again and again, forever. Now that same legacy has become the battleground between grief and spectacle. In quiet moments, Harry still talks about Diana not as a symbol, but as a wound that never healed. Friends say he doesn't describe her as the people's princess. He remembers her as a woman who wanted peace and never found it. And every time Meghan invokes Diana's name, wears her jewelry, or references her struggles, it's like that wound gets ripped open again. This time not in private, but on display, televised, hashtagged, monetized. Observers close to the royal circle say what started as admiration slowly turned into imitation.
Did you see this moment right here? It was almost as cringe. She thinks something is funny. It clearly isn't. Turns to Marcus Anderson, her gay BFF who's behind all of this, wanting him to join in. He's like, no way. Just turn around. Behave. I've got this gig for you, you stupid woman. Just behave. And then she's furious.
It stopped being about honoring the past and became about controlling the story of it. And that's what tears Harry apart. Because the world still sees Diana's son, not the man he's trying to become. Every headline drags him backward. Every scandal reminds him he's still trapped in a story written long before he had a voice. Meanwhile, Meghan appears untouched, still turning moments into statements, still talking empowerment while standing in the ruins of another woman's legacy. This isn't rebellion anymore. It's reinvention on repeat. And every performance leaves another scar, not on her image, but on the history she keeps borrowing from. That's the cruel irony. The same legacy that lifted them is now the one that could undo them. Because when you build a brand on borrowed pain, the echo always comes back louder. And this time, that echo sounds a lot like Diana. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe it wasn't. But one thing is clear. Nothing around this couple feels random anymore. For years, the world bought the fairy tale. A prince escaping the palace, a woman promising freedom. Now all that's left is noise. Two people surrounded by flashbulbs, trapped in a story they can't rewrite. Harry looks at the past and sees loss. Meghan looks at the same past and sees opportunity. And somewhere between those two visions, love slipped away quietly. The Diana tunnel moment wasn't just bad judgment, it was a mirror. tragedy turned into optics, grief turned into content, one chasing peace, the other chasing the camera that keeps chaos alive. And still the question hangs in the silence between them. When everything becomes a headline, how do you separate truth from performance? Maybe that's why Harry finally snapped, because behind every lens, every exclusive, every whisper, there's one thing he can't protect anymore. His mother's memory being treated like currency in the empire of publicity. So maybe the world doesn't need another photo, another statement, or another apology. Maybe it needs honesty, something rarer than fame and far more dangerous to lose. If you want to see how deep this pattern of control and chaos really goes, check out our previous investigation where we break down the ongoing public battle surrounding Harry and Meghan. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more deep dives where the truth lives between the headlines. And we'll see you on the next one.